Shun Dorsey is Beame Technologies chairman and CEO. Driven to make a social impact, Shun led enterprise sales development and social impact initiatives at Adobe's Marketo. He was also the director responsible for community projects and partnerships at United Way of Greater Atlanta. As a founder and executive director, Shun dedicated over 9 years to WizKidz Science and Technology Center's nonprofit.
Hello, fintech leaders and builders. This is Guts, Grit, and the Fintech. This is the show for strong-minded entrepreneurs who are not afraid to transform financial industry, who are not afraid to take the risk to get the reward and build the brighter financial future. And I'm Vasil Soloshuk from INSART, a fintech engineering startup studio and innovation lab. And I'm excited to welcome our today's guest, Shun Dorsey from BeamPay. Hello, Shun.
Hello, Vasil. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, Shun, absolutely. And thank you for joining. And let's start. Can you tell us a little bit, what's your story? What's your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So my career has not always been in financial technology. As a matter of fact, most of my career has spanned in the nonprofit sector. But this has actually given me insight on the disparities that underrepresented communities face by not being able to really fully participate in the financial economy.
Shun, by the way, I think that nonprofits are actually financial organizations as well, because, you fundraise
Yep,
for some purpose
yep,
and you move a lot of money.
absolutely.
And to myself, like anything related like to nonprofits and fundraising and donations, this can be also treated like a fintech. What do you
Almost.
think?
Almost. You're right. We are heavily fundraising. There is donor acquisition strategies and management. So, depending on that spectrum, because depending what you're doing in the nonprofit space, you're consistently working with families that are financially strained. That are in situations where homelessness is running rampant, and it's pointing back to their ability to participate in the financial economy.
So taking this into account, so why exactly have you decided to start BeamPay?
So I'll be really brief. My journey started upon initial travels to Africa. As a matter of fact, I visited a very small country off the west coast of Africa. And as a tourist, as a visitor, I quickly learned that it was very difficult in moving money. The country was very cash heavy, as we find that our target market, which our emerging markets are. We found that most of the merchants did not have the capability to process a digital payment. Everything was cash based, and so at times we found ourselves having to go to ATMs that were in sketchy areas, and it just wasn't safe. And I just never felt safe as a traveler carrying cash like that. So what that did is it limited me and limited my ability to actually spend money and purchase. So I started doing research, started traveling out of the country more, visiting more of these countries that were similar to this small country in Africa, and start finding that there was just this consistency in terms of these markets not being able to move digital money. I start seeing that there were just limitations in access to technology. The infrastructure just wasn't there. And from there, we set out to create a platform that would target these emerging markets and give these individuals the opportunity to fully participate in the digital financial economy.
So, do you think there are more opportunities for entrepreneurs to start the business like here in the United States or on the emerging markets?
Absolutely. I think that, our use cases, obviously, when we're talking about emerging markets, again, we're talking about these markets are still pretty underdeveloped in the digital economy. But when we look at the our technology or what we're setting out to do, absolutely here in the United States, I see that there's an influx in immigrants here in the United States. And when you have immigrants that are coming over that don't have the proper documentation to open a bank account, they're left to work for jobs that are strictly cash. And again, just like our emerging markets, they're not really able to fully participate in the financial economy, even here in the United States, and that could be quite difficult.
So speaking about BeamPay, so what is the specific problem or challenge that you're trying to solve?
Got it. So when we look at our product, right, we've designed it to make digital financial services accessible for these underrepresented groups in emerging markets. And BeamPay itself is a direct-to-consumer mobile payments platform designed for proximity payments, and it's designed around these unique challenges that emerging markets face. And when we talk about these emerging markets, you have to look at them as these, they have difficulties in consistent internet accessibility. So a lot of the emerging markets that we looked at, less than 40% of them actually have access to internet. And so when you look at other things like security or looking at just infrastructure and the need where these outdated phones are being used, you start running into these challenges of being able to move digital payments. So when we do look at the problem, I can't look at the problem without explaining who our target market is essentially. So our target audience are those vendors, merchants, those small to medium-sized businesses that are operating within the consumer goods, services sectors. And again, these are situated in these emerging markets where the digital economy is still in its nascent areas. So when you look at these merchants, out of these, only 1 in 4 have the ability to make digital payments. And as a matter of fact, 200 million micro, small, and mid-sized businesses in these emerging economies today lack access to savings and credit. So we want to give them an opportunity to fully participate in the digital financial digital market. What I think that what people don't realize is when you say, oh, those people in emerging markets not being able to move, that doesn't affect me. But in fact, it does, because having cash heavy emerging markets actually impacts our global GDP tremendously. And so this isn't just a small problem. This is a global problem.
Yeah, and I would agree with you that here in the United States, you would possibly have an opportunity to rebuild the current infrastructure and the current financial services that you have. But in emerging markets, you can actually build something from scratch and
Absolutely.
maybe even innovate faster than
Absolutely.
here. Yeah, and speaking about this, you mentioned several groups of potential partners and customers. So, speaking about the go-to-market strategy, how would you prioritize as soon as you're still in early stage? How would you prioritize? What would be your, like top 1 to 3 priorities of ideal customers?
So if we're looking at our key priorities right now, our strategic priorities, our first one is market validation. So right now we currently have a functioning, very lean functioning MVP. We're using it. We've used it as a prototype to gather the intel we need to roll out our fully functioning MVP. So that's one key strategic priority is market validation. Our second is really expanding on our partnerships. So we have strategic partnerships with several key entities. We're currently working with EcoBank. We're working with several ministries in our launch market, and we're actually working with several universities to springboard the technology within their institutions as a mobile point of sale system. So expanding those partnerships. And our last strategic priority is really that early user adoption, right? What is going to be our early user adoption acquisition strategy? And so those three priorities are what we're looking at right now.
Okay, okay. And so, what would be the monetization and revenue streams model for BeamPay?
Absolutely. So right now, what we're looking at is a very small transaction fee that will be accompanied with the actual a transaction within the payments app. So
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at transaction fees, and then to take it a step further, we're looking at a model where we're actually charging merchants a monthly fee for those merchants that have those higher transactions. We're looking at giving them a just a monthly model where they could actually pay just a subscription fee.
So, how are you going to acquire merchants as a clients for yourself?
So that's a really good question. So right now, our acquisition strategy looks similar to this. We're currently working with several educational institutions in Cape Verde, which is our springboard market. Some of them consist of the University of Santiago, as well as the Student Federation of Universities there. And so in us launching the technology, within those institutions, and we're looking at that group, right, those primarily those Gen Zers, right, within those universities. We're looking to really secure those secure them as early adopters, and then utilize that momentum to actually drive adoption into the merchants and within the country itself.
So it looks like you have identified the communities which are like university and students, so that you will be so your go-to-market strategy is actually based on uh, partnering with these communities. Is it correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, the partnerships
Okay.
are very key. It's taken, I think that that's been the gist of a lot of the work that we've done. It's not so much building out the technology itself, it's working with the community to uncover what those problems are that they face, and then going back and building our technology based on those particular problems. I think in the past we reverse engineered. We said, you know what, we have this digital payments app, they're going to love it. And it wasn't until we really start going into, again, the country and saying, you know, will you use this? We visited and we think this will be great. And we started to learn and understand that there's different nuances. You know, there's like localizing the app. There's different cultural factors that we have to take into consideration when launching this. And then another key point is we're a United States based company. So we're going into other countries and saying, we want to move your money, especially when these countries are cash reliant. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not just trust, it's also a behavioral change that must take effect. So it's heavy, heavy marketing. I think that during this past year, everything has been really based on just building awareness and really building that brand awareness. So we've been doing heavy pre-launch marketing into our springboard market.
Yeah, that's very smart. So, and what are the other possible geographies and countries that you see um, going forward?
That's a really good question. So definitely Central America, there's a huge market, and we're also seeing a lot of opportunity in the Caribbean markets as well. We were traveling recently, and there was an airport in Jamaica, and it was astounding that the Starbucks actually was cash only. I mean, we're
Hmm.
talking 2024 Starbucks in an airport that only accepts cash in a tourist centric market.
That's
So
interesting.
very interesting. So that the opportunities we're definitely seeing them.
Uh, Sean, when you're an entrepreneur and an early stage startup, you definitely wear a lot of hats, but it's also very important to have very strong initial team members. So who else is in your team?
Absolutely. So our team is made up of industry experts, and we have a combined 20 plus years in banking, global payments, fintech startup exits, international regulatory compliance, and global government relations. I've been able to snag some pretty amazing people from companies like Google, MasterCard, LexisNexis, Bank of America, Leatherback, and even Jeff Bezos backed Chipper Cash. So I've meticulously worked to build a team that I feel could help us to execute this initiative.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So we see that there are lots of initiatives on the on the emerging markets, specifically related to payments and cross-border payments as well. So, do you see any specific competitors to BeamPay at the moment?
So right now we do have a key competitor within our target market, and when we really do our research and analyze, and we've talked to merchants and users of this platform, we've been able to identify just issues that they face. I mean, it's a although they may have the market cornered, it's outdated technology, limited functionality. So when you have a solution like ours that comes across and it gives the customer a better transactional experience, we see ourselves able to capture a lot of that market. I think that with our initial flagship launch of the mobile point of sale and peer-to-peer proximity payments, we have an opportunity to expand, like you mentioned, cross-border, and Vasil, even further with open banking. I think that one of our biggest challenges in launching our technology was learning that a lot of the financial institutions just they did not have the capabilities to actually integrate with the third party fintech like BeamPay.
Yes.
So it opened up an opportunity for us to say, you know what? There's an open banking opportunity here where we can go in and create APIs where these banks even are able to do more. And so that's where I see it, where we differentiate in terms of our services across the board. It's those diversified services that I think are going to help us to impact the market more.
Sean, am I right that you're raising right now? Is it correct?
Absolutely. We are currently fundraising right now. Yes. We are in our pre seed fundraising round.
So, can you tell us a little bit more, like just how much you're raising and what for, more
Yeah,
specifically?
yeah, absolutely. So right now, again, we're really fundraising so right now we're fundraising $500,000. And out of that $500,000, there's several things. There, there's regulatory uh, 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 finances that we must have in our account or put to the side to work with these central banks. So there's certain requirements that's needed. So that's a big chunk of that. Obviously, our continued pre-launch marketing. Obviously, the development of that MVP, running our user testing trials, onboarding a technology person, and really just building out that initial infrastructure so that we could work to continue validating that market.
That's great. So, Shun, thank you very much for sharing these insights about BeamPay, and thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely, Vasil. And thank you for allowing me to be on this platform to share our story, share our product. It's an amazing opportunity. It's actually been amazing working with you. So thank you so much again for the opportunity.
Yeah, so, and we will put the information about BeamPay in the description to this video. And for everyone who are watching us today, I encourage you to review what is BeamPay. And I'm really excited to see the journey, your journey going forward. Uh, I believe that there are lots of new opportunities in underbanked emerging markets. So that's really exciting. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, my
And
friend.
and to everyone who are watching us today, also please like this video, share this video, and tell us what you think, what are other opportunities in the emerging markets. And thank you. And it was me, Vasil Salashuk from INSART, and Shun Dorsey from BeamPay. And let's keep building the brighter financial future together. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, check out more founder and leadership stories on our channel. Follow INSART, follow Fintech,